Many thanks for joining us on the What's Trending. I am Moses Omoghena. So today on the What's Trending, it's all about the hashtag 9 billion undress NAS and all whatnot. So on the What's Trending, the jumbo pay syndrome and controversy is still getting Nigerians talking, venting and even angry. As a matter of fact, this seems to be the #1 trend and subject on the lips of Nigerians as we speak. Some people have called it the hashtag 9 billion, others trend with it using the hashtag Occupy NAS, and yet others even say the hashtag Undress NAS, an attempt to strip off our lawmakers of unwarranted benefits at the expense of taxpayers, they say. A wise man once told me that money is an insatiable wealth. No matter how large it may be, you just keep asking for more. So, could this be the situation and the reason behind the jumbo pay of lawmakers? Well, I'm about to find out. Joining me to answer these concerns is Mr. Ayobami Oyalowo, media aide to the presidency. Stay with us. Okay, welcome back. You're still on the What's Trending, and as promised, I have Mr. Ayobami Oyalowo on set to, help us and fill us on with the hashtag Jumbo Pay and the hashtag lawmakers money that has been buzzing social media for weeks now. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to What's Trending.
Thank you so much.
All right, now first things first. Many have said that the allowances, is irrelevant and should be scrapped off. Others say that the allowances are relevant, but the price tag on each of the allowances is the problem. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, some of the allowances are irrelevant. I agree with people who say some are irrelevant.
Okay.
Going through the allowance, I saw some like a hardship allowance, like recess allowance, and you see that encourage them not to even want to work. Because if you remember, the last Senate passed only 126 bills in its lifetime. And 46 of those were done in 10 minutes.
Wow.
A day the penultimate day to the day they will be rounding off. So you begin to ask yourself, how relevant is this? So some of the allowances are not just over-bloated. They are not relevant, looking at the current situation that Nigeria finds herself. Looking at our Senate, for instance, let's use the Senate here as the yardstick. Half of them are either former governors, former ministers, or people who have been in and around government, which means they've taken a lot already from Nigeria. Some of them they are still on pension or something they're getting from their states as former governors, as former deputy governors, or whatever they were.
Receiving pension whilst they're not in office.
Exactly. So,
interesting.
And they've gotten a lot in terms of severance packages when they were leaving. Okay. And now, you now still pay these people 5 million annually as a dressing allowance. And you ask yourself, weren't they wearing something before? Were they naked or were they in rags? So you see, this is just a way of taking care of themselves.
500
at
million
the expense of the people who put them in office. I mean, you ask yourself, this is a country where 70% of the population currently lives under the poverty level, less than $2 in a day. And then they are the leaders, they are the owners of the country. Then the people they put there as their public servants are living as the Lord over them. For me, it is not justifiable. And looking at the current realities of Nigeria today, you can't even justify it. Maybe a few years ago you could say, you could close your eyes to it, but now people are too angry and too informed for this to keep going on without somebody doing something about it.
It's easy they say it's easy to judge when you're not there or when you're not wearing the shoes. Yeah. Now, I know that you're not a lawmaker, you're not a senator, but I want you to wear the shoes of a senator, wear the role of a senator now. If you were a senator, for example, and you take a look around you and you see the amount of abject poverty being suffered by Nigerians, the amount of children out there on the streets, that cannot afford to go to school.
We have 10 million out of school.
Thousands of civil servants who have not been paid their salaries.
About 22 states cannot pay salaries.
Good. Now, when you put all that, as a senator, do you think that, a senator should feel guilty about that, about their earnings, or they should just simply tell themselves, well, it's really my earnings, it's my salary.
If they have any conscience, they should. Do lawmaking, is it that expensive? How much does it cost to make a law? I mean, you ask yourself, what really have these guys added as value to the system in the last 16 years that we've had this democracy in place. If they think what they are earning is justified based on what they have done, then fine. But if they have some conscience, some human feelings, they should know the people who queued in the sun to elect you can't even eat. 22 states, as we talk, cannot pay salaries. Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-primary school children, between 10 and 11 million children out of school. We have about 3.5 million IDPs, internally displaced Nigerians, on the streets of Abuja and in and around the northeast, living in, if you say abject poverty, it doesn't even describe their situation. And yet, some people have the courage to say this is our earning. There's no way you can justify it if you truly are working for the people.
So if you were there, for example, are you saying you're going to...
Well, I know a few of them who have themselves said this is wrong. I know a few of them who have gone on record to say this is too high.
Yeah, but there is one thing to say it's wrong. It's another thing to block your bank account to all these benefits.
You can't block your bank account, and I'm going to tell you why. I have people who have said, I don't want to mention their names on air. Okay. A few senators who have had reason to return some money. And I understand some people actually didn't take their money during the last national conference or whatever they organized, the jamboree that was organized a few months back by the outgone administration. There were no records to show. So, see, you can't reject the money. I'll be realistic. You can't reject that money because it will make no difference. But what should be done is across board. If they cannot slash it, at the minimum, 50% slash in these things will show that at least these guys have some conscience.
Who do you think we should blame for this, in quotes, outrageous
if you tell them, they will tell you...
Should we blame the lawmakers, or we should blame, the commission
They
involved?
will tell you there's a commission that set this thing up.
Okay.
Well, this money will not set... Well, let us be fair to this current assembly. They didn't set this up. It wasn't set up during their time. It was set up by the past administrations. Now, what I expect is the commission to now sit down, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Education Committee, to sit down and say, look, the reality on ground does not justify what we're doing. Okay. There must be a downward review. Now, when they come out to say we're doing this, then let us see which senator will say no to this, or which lawmaker will say no to this. Then Nigerians will not know who their true enemies are, because for now they are making it appear that it is a problem of the RMFAC. And I want the RMFAC to come out and say, look, we set this up when Nigeria was earning this much. Nigeria does not earn this kind of money for now. Our oil revenue is dwindling. I even understand we cannot find buyers at times for our crude. Now, the time has come for us to cut our crude, not according to our sizes, but according to our cloth. Our earnings do not have the capacity to pay this kind of money to anybody. And if we cannot pay common civil servant salaries, then it is time we realize that we are building another army that is angry. It was the same thing they did in the Northeast, where you deny people education, you deny them basic life, basic reason to live. And then it was easy to be attracted by anybody who promised that if you kill yourself for God, God will take you to heaven. Now, when you build an army of angry, poor, and people who have no reasons to live, anybody can lure them into crime. So if the lawmakers think they were truly elected by Nigerians to serve Nigerians, then you don't even need any God to tell them that this is not justifiable.
Speaking about the commission, that determines this draft, some Nigerians believe and stakeholders believe that taxpayers, really, Nigerians, simply putting it, should be responsible for determining all these allowances. The same thing happened in Kenya, and it seemed to have worked for them. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, my thought is two ways. Our major problem is because we really don't pay tax. We're not a tax country, in quote. That is why we don't get this angry. You see, if we are a country like, for instance, the Britain, the United Kingdom, where 90% of government earnings come from tax and taxation, Nigerians will know that we are stakeholder. But because everybody lives on oil here, we don't care. Now the oil is no longer selling. Very soon we might have to tax ourselves to work. For the country to work. Now, Nigerians will understand that it is our money, not their money. We have this mentality of it is not them, not them. But truly and really, this is our money being spent on a few. How can 469 people, for God's sake, spend 120 billion in a country where we have 10 to 11 million primary school children out of school. We have the highest maternal mortality rates. We have some of the worst road networks you can find anywhere in the world. We have crimes and criminality daily.
All right. What is the way forward? How do you think we should get out
Well,
of this?
for now, I will be very realistic. People have said 90%, people have said every manner of things. For me, a good start will be 50% slash in this pay. When that is done, then we can begin to now think of other ways to reduce wastages and leakages in the system.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayobami. Thank you for your time and thank you for joining us, on the What's Trending. And just before we go, going online, let's find out what Nigerians are saying about this. A tweet from JJ Omoghena says, hashtag Occupy NAS was about getting the salaries and allowances of the lawmakers reduced. RFMAF has started the process. And Ohima Godwin says, logic, APC changed legislators now control the National Assembly. Why are Nigerians now begging for change via the hashtag Occupy NAS campaign? Interesting question. And he went further to say, it is a serious matter, that we have to scream open NAS and threaten Occupy NAS in a parliament dominated by APC change legislators. Giddy Traffic says, we voted for change and they are busy changing their wardrobe. Chineke lekwa, hashtag Occupy NAS. And Omoghena says, if we do nothing, nothing will happen. If we do something, something may happen. We have a choice. Hashtag Occupy NAS, hashtag Stop the Mess. Well, you've heard it all. You've heard all the, the comments made by Nigerians, you and I, and Mr. Ayobami Oyalowo has been on the What's Trending, filling us in on the hashtag Jumbo Pay Syndrome. And with that, it's a wrap on the What's Trending. Don't forget to let us know what you're talking about using the hashtag TVC Nigeria. And the Twitter handle to always follow, don't forget, is at TVC Nigeria. Many, many thanks for watching. I'm Moses Omoghena, and I definitely will be seeing you next time. Bye for now.